Prince Harry and Meghan Markle would accept an invitation to spend Christmas with King Charles and the rest of the royal family at Sandringham, insiders claim, adding that they might require heightened protection to make it happen. The Duke of Sussex, who lives in California with Meghan Markle and their two children, Archie, 4, and Lilibet, 2, is understood to have spoken to King Charles on Tuesday in a phone call for his father's 75th birthday. Sources told The Times that the conversation could be a turning point in the difficult relationship between the Sussexes and the King. This has now been followed by suggestions that the couple would be willing to accept an invitation to spend the festive season in Britain. It was also suggested that they would be willing to accept an invitation to Balmoral, in Scotland, during the summer. "I can't imagine the Sussexes would decline an invitation to spend time with His Majesty," a source told the newspaper. As of yet, there have not been any invitations for the holidays. The thaw in their relationship comes after a source told the Mail on Sunday that King Charles wanted to spend more time with his grandchildren. It is understood that another phone call between the King and his son is planned for the coming week. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle last spent Christmas at Sandringham in 2018. Sources close to the couple suggested that they would need both heightened protection to be able to realise any invitation. They added that, without a residence in Britain, the Sussexes would also require a formal invitation from King Charles or Buckingham Palace to be able to stay in a residence that has sufficient protection. In March, King Charles requested that Harry and Meghan vacate Frogmore Cottage, their home in Windsor. They fully moved out in July. Prince Harry no longer benefits from police protection while he is in the UK, following a decision by the Home Office to withdraw it. Aides to the royal family said that accommodation for the prince was likely to be made available for short visits, if any requests are received. The revelation that the Sussexes would accept invitations to spend time with King Charles in Britain suggests that they are seeking to repair relations that have been damaged over recent years. The Sussexes' children, Archie and Lilibet, have spent little time with King Charles. They have never spent Christmas with their grandfather, and this distance is said to cause upset for both sides. They are understood to have made a video singing Happy Birthday for the King, which was shown during the call on Tuesday. It comes as the Mail on Sunday revealed that the King has been spending more time in Windsor than he did as Prince of Wales, typically visiting on weekends. It means he is just down the road from the Prince and Princess of Wales and his 3 grandchildren, who moved to Adelaide Cottage on the Windsor estate last year. A source said, "Charles wants to spend more time with his grandchildren. There's so much love there." Before, they were miles away from the Waleses, but geographically they are now much closer, so he can spend more time with them, and he's very glad of it. For decades Charles spent as little time as possible at Windsor Castle, but this has changed in recent months. William and Kate are also understood to be spending less time at their country Bolthole, Anmer Hall in Norfolk, during term time. Insiders have credited Camilla and Kate for getting the family together more frequently, but William will likely take some of the credit. When asked in 2018 whether his father has time to be a grandfather, William told documentary makers, "It's something I am working more heavily on, put it that way." "I think he does have time for it, but I would like him to have more time with the children." Now he's reached his 70th year, it's a perfect time to consolidate a little bit because, as most families would do, you are worried about having them around and making sure their health's okay, and he's the fittest man I know, but, equally, I want him to be fit until he's 95. So having more time with him at home would be lovely, and being able to play around with the grandchildren. Because when he's there, he's brilliant. But we need him there as much as possible. There were fears that as king it would be even trickier to fit in being a grandfather, but, having just turned 75, Charles is streamlining his priorities to spend more time with George, 10, Charlotte, 8, and Louis, 5. Obviously, that makes it more possible to see his grandchildren, with whom he has an incredibly warm and fond relationship. Queen Camilla has previously described Charles as a hands-on grandfather who will get down on his knees and crawl about with them for hours. Making funny noises and laughing. He even turned his beloved gardens at Highgrove into a toddler's playground for Prince George. In 2015, when George was 2, Charles refurbished the treehouse once enjoyed by William and Harry. The desire to be closer to the Wales children is most likely not unrelated to the painful estrangement from his 2 grandchildren overseas.